A sigh, a delicate rustling of silk, a faint scent of old roses. Oh, darling, you wouldn't believe. Honestly, you simply wouldn't. It began, as these things invariably do, with a whisper of promise. A gilded cage, they called it. The Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward. It sounded divine. A retreat, a little slice of paradise along the Indian Ocean. My mother, bless her eternally discerning heart, insisted. Darling, she trilled, adjusting a strand of pearls, you deserve a respite, away from the people, somewhere refined, a word that now tastes like ash in my mouth. You see, I have standards. Utterly, irrevocably, non-negotiable standards. It is not vanity, my dear. It is an appreciation for the exquisite, for order, for basic decency. And from the moment my beloved Pomeranian, Coco Chanel, and I, of course, stepped foot onto the premises, it was clear those standards were about to be utterly ravaged. The check-in, oh, the check-in. It is a foundational experience, isn't it? The first impression. It should be welcoming, a warm embrace. Instead, a glacial stare. The woman behind the desk, a creature named them by, if I recall correctly, regarded me with the sort of dismissive air one reserves for particularly tiresome insects. I had naturally booked a luxury family room, sea-facing. A confirmation, printed on the finest Egyptian cotton paper, resided snugly within my Hermes Birkin. She barely glanced at it. Fully booked, she stated flatly. Twin room available, a twin room, as if I would deign to share a chamber with anyone. And the tone, such disrespect. Honestly, it was as though I'd asked her to dismantle the very foundations of the resort, not merely secure the accommodation I'd rightfully paid for. It's its basic courtesy, you understand, to honor a reservation, to treat a guest with a modicum of respect. It speaks to a fundamental disregard for human dignity, a complete absence of empathy. It is barbaric, truly. And the room, oh the room, it smelled stale. Not just musty, darling, stale, like regret and forgotten dreams. Room 109, I believe, infested with ants. Tiny, black, relentless ants marching across the carpets, scaling the walls, plotting. I shudder to think. Do you know what it is like to share a space with an invading army of insects? It is a profound violation. It undermines the very concept of sanctuary. A home should be a fortress, not a colony. It is basic hygiene, my dear, to ensure a clean, pest-free environment. It is not a request, it is a fundamental expectation. And the bathroom, goodness. The shower sprayed water sideways, not down, darling, sideways, creating a treacherous, glistening lake on the floor, a serious slip hazard. Naturally. One could easily break a hip, or worse, ruin a Manolo Blahnik. I felt such frustration and anger towards the poor people who have to clean that mess up, a tragedy truly. And the tap, dripping, constantly, a relentless, maddening drip, drip, drip that chipped away at my sanity, echoing the emptiness in my soul. It's just wasteful, so much water simply vanishing into the ether, a reflection of the resort's overall lack of consideration. And this is where things started to unravel. You see, it wasn't just one thing, darling. It was a constellation of offenses, each one compounding the others, creating a vortex of despair. I attempted to summon assistance. The phone, of course, was dead, a broken promise of connection, a symbol of my isolation. I tried the emergency line. The security guard, a rather despondent-looking fellow, offered a shrug and a mumbled, "Aish, I am sorry, I can try, but I can't leave the security." As if my predicament wasn't a matter of urgent security. Honestly, the apathy was staggering. The dining experience was a further descent into the abyss. At Barcelona.
Script content. So Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward, it is supposed to be this nice place, right? But like some of the shops here, they play games. Like tourists come thinking everything is sunshine and then boom, scam. Okay, so businesses near Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward, some of them, they do this thing where they give you wrong change, like on purpose. Like a tourist goes to buy souvenirs, hands over a big note, and the cashier acts all confused, gives back less than they should. And the tourist, they don't even notice until later because they relaxed on vacation. And by then, too late, the shop just shrugs like, "What? No, you must be mistaken." And the tourist just leaves feeling stupid. That is how they get you. And then like some places near Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward, they have these special deals for tourists. Like, oh, this necklace is handmade, very rare, but really. It is cheap stuff from who knows where, marked up crazy high. And the tourist, they trust the smile, they buy it, and later, they find the exact same thing at another shop for half the price, and they feel tricked, but what can they do? They rate only here for 2 weeks, they 1T come back to fight it. Oh, and the worst, fake tour operators. Like someone sets up a little stall near Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward, selling exclusive boat trips or secret waterfall hikes. Tourists pay cash, excited, right, but then no boat, no hike, the stall is gone the next day, and the money gone too, and the tourist just stands there like, what just happened? I mean, how can people do this? You come here to relax and instead you leave feeling cheated. And the scammers, they just keep doing it because tourists don't stay long enough to complain. It is sad, you know, like why can things just be honest? And then like the little restaurants near Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward, some of them add extra charges to the bill. Service fee, tourist tax, whatever. And if you don't check, you pay. If you argue, they act offended. And you just give in because you don't want trouble. It is just Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward could be so nice, but some people, they ruin it. And the worst part, they get away with it every time.
The businesses surrounding Wild Coast Sun, Port Edward, they weigh on me truly. It's not simply a matter of poor service or questionable food, it's a sense of disappointment, a persistent undercurrent of things not being quite right. It feels like a promise whispered, then broken with a shrug. That's the overall impression. A pervasive feeling that corners were cut, expectations lowered, and a certain resignation accepted. It's as if the very air hangs heavy with unfulfilled potential. Let's begin, shall we? Because attempting to navigate this area without a clear understanding is, frankly, a gamble with your holiday. Generally speaking, the shopping experiences nearby feel depleted. The Shelley Centre, for instance, presents as a structure holding onto past glories. It's not vibrant, it's existing. Numerous accounts speak to a growing number of vacant shops, a sort of hollowed-out feeling. You'll find clothes, shoes, more shoes, a repeating pattern of the mundane. It lacks a spark, a reason to linger. The offerings feel tired, as if even the retailers themselves are simply going through the motions. One individual noted the computer shop, Ralph and Steve's, as a shining exception, knowledgeable and understanding, a beacon of competence. But that feels isolated, a single bright spot in a sea of beige. The rest feels like they are waiting for the tide to come in, and it likely won't. It doesn't stop at empty storefronts. Practical concerns become glaring issues. Accessibility, it seems, is an afterthought. Someone relayed a distressing experience regarding bathroom access for those with mobility issues, a 2-flight staircase being the sole option due to a lack of water. Imagine. A basic necessity rendered inaccessible. It's infuriating, isn't it? The casual disregard. And then there's the upkeep. A persistent theme emerges: neglect. Reports of leaky roofs, dirty bathrooms, even parking areas obstructed by reckless parking and impromptu drinking sessions. It speaks to a lack of consistent oversight, a slow slide into disrepair. The scent of neglect, apparently, hangs prominently near the Musica store, with bathrooms described as terribly stinking for weeks on end. Weeks. That's a willful oversight. There's a pervasive sense of shortchanging. It's like a quiet game of how much can we get away with. Security Hyperstore, mentioned in one review, is a prime example. Offering technical support but refusing cash refunds, only credit notes, and not disclosing this up front. It's a sly tactic designed to trap unsuspecting customers. These businesses feel like they are actively working against you. It is predatory. And the atmosphere, a chilling anecdote mentioned the Pick n Pay kitchen as dirty, 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 with staff conveying an air of doing you a favor. Imagine requesting service and being met with that attitude. It's a subtle but profound indicator of a deeper malaise. It's soul-crushing to feel unwelcome. Now let's turn to accommodation-adjacent services. Mangwanani Boutique Wild Coast Spa. The reviews paint a truly disheartening picture. The volume of negative feedback is troubling. This isn't a case of a few isolated complaints, it's a consistent chorus of dissatisfaction. The overarching issue appears to be a severe lack of training and quality control. Guests repeatedly report massages that are less therapeutic and more oil rubs. Therapists are described as rushing through treatments, sighing audibly, and generally lacking the skill or enthusiasm required for a relaxing experience. The rooms themselves are often cramped, poorly maintained with torn linens. Several reviews highlighted appalling conditions, broken bathrobes, filthy passageways, a general sense of disrepair. It's not a sanctuary, it's a letdown. There's also a concerning trend of unresponsive management. Complaints are logged